First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash, double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations to the 144,000, the one-third elect of the nation of Israel throughout the four corners of the globe, pushing this word, being faithful. All right. With this lesson, getting straight to it, Leviticus 26:1, ye shall make no idols, nor graven images, nor graven image, neither rear you up a standing image, neither shall ye set up any image of stone in your land to bow down unto it, for I am Yahweh your power. All right. So that was a strict commandment from the Heavenly Father himself that we Israelites were not to make any idols or graven images. We were not to stand up, any images like you see these in America. There's countless statues that require them being reared up. You got to they got to be built, fortified, reinforced in order for them to remain erect. Okay. And we're not supposed to bow down to any of those things. Okay. But here in America, in various, in other places around the world, that's all you see. That's all you see. And our people are, Israelites are captivated by these various idols. They participate in the worshiping of these idols, whether they know it or not. For instance, Christmas, which is coming up. When you go into Jeremiah 10, it tells you, it gives you the whole breakdown of the pagan custom of setting up a Christmas tree in your house and all that, decking it, with silver and gold, and which now they use ornaments and trinkets and things of that nature. But that's in the scriptures. That's condemned. It's forbidden. But despite our people even claiming to be Christians or religious or anything like that, they still participate in that demonic activity. All right. But that just shows you that, our people are stupid. All right. Hosea 4. All right. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Now, I want to get this here in Ezekiel 16, and I'm going to get this in the NLT. Now, this is an account of the Lord comparing Israel to a woman, all right, because the nation of Israel is the Lord's woman. Now, this account here is going to explain how the Lord took us from nothing and built us up to be something, in comparison to a woman. But we, took in what the Lord gave us, and we defiled it, So this is Ezekiel 16:10, and this is the NLT. It says, I gave you expensive clothing of fine linen and silk, beautifully embroidered, and sandals made of fine goatskin leather. I gave you lovely jewelry bracelets, beautiful necklaces, a ring for your nose, earrings for your ears, and a lovely crown for your head. And so you were adorned with gold and silver. Your clothes were made of fine linen and were beautifully embroidered. You ate the finest foods, choice flour, honey. All right, remember this: choice flour, honey, and olive oil, and became more beautiful than ever. You looked like a queen, and so you were. Your fame soon spread throughout the world, which we know that there was no queens in Israel. All right, now you got to remember that this is the NLT version. All right, we didn't have any queens in the nation of Israel. We had princesses. All right, your fame soon spread throughout the world because of your beauty. I dressed you in my splendor and perfected your beauty, says the sovereign Lord. But you thought your fame and your beauty were your own, so you gave yourself as a prostitute to every man who came along. Your beauty was theirs for the asking. Okay, so us getting into the idols of these heathen nations that were amongst us was likened unto us playing the role of a prostitute. Okay, it says you use the lovely things. That's why idol worship is considered idolatry. Idolatry is considered fornication. All right, it's spiritual fornication because you're giving your time and your energy to worship something that ain't even real. So spiritually, you're committing adultery on the Heavenly Father. That's why idolatry in the scriptures is likened unto adultery. All right. It says, you use the lovely things I gave you to make shrines for idols, where you played the prostitute. Unbelievable! How could such a thing ever happen? You took the very jewels and gold and silver ornaments I had given you, and made statues of men and worshipped them. This is adultery against me. All right. So think about that. The Lord is parabolically saying that the jewels and the gold and the silver and all that the Lord gave us, gave his wife, we use that to make statues of men and worship them. All right. So when you think about that on a physical level, say for instance, you had a wife and you bought her jewelry, clothes, you know what I'm saying, bracelets, earrings, all this, you just things for her to be beautiful. You know what I'm saying, a shopping spree or whatever. And then you come to find out that she don't made a mannequin, a male mannequin, a Edomite at that. She made an Edomite mannequin, male mannequin out of the shit you bought her, and that's what she be worshiping. You would be furious, man. You know what I'm saying? You'd be ready to kill the bitch. Okay? But that's what we did spiritually to the Heavenly Father by turning to the idols of the heathen nations, all right? It says you use the beautifully embroidered clothes I gave you to dress your idols. Then you use my special oil and my incense to worship them. Imagine it. You set before them as a sacrifice the choice flour, olive oil, and honey I had given you, says the sovereign Lord. Then you took your sons and daughters, the children you had born to me, and sacrificed them to your gods. Was your prostitution not enough? Okay. Must you also slaughter my children by sacrificing them to idols? Okay. And that's all that's happening when, as an Israelite, you raise your kids to believe in all these so-called holidays that Thanksgiving just passed. Christmas coming up. You know, you got Israelites growing up thinking that they're American and celebrating 4th of July. Okay, Valentine's Day, their birthdays. You know, um, Halloween. Easter. All these demonic holidays. Our people grow up from childhood, from birth, believing in that. And that is spiritually you're causing your children to pass through the fire and be slaughtered uh, via being sacrificed to these idols spiritually. Okay. Now, this goes on to go into judgment that was going to come as a result of that. But I want to jump here in Bel and the dragon, because it's a physical example of what the Lord just illustrated in Ezekiel 16. Okay, so this is Bel and the dragon 1 and 3. It says, "Now the Babylonians had an idol called Bel, and there were spent upon him every day 12 great measures of fine flour, and 40 sheep, and 6 vessels of wine. And the king worshipped it and went daily to adore it. But but Daniel worshipped his own power. And the king said unto him, Why dost not thou worship Baal? Who answered and said, Because I may not worship idols made with hands, but the living power, who hath created the heaven and the earth, and hath sovereignty over all flesh. Then said the king unto him, Thinkest thou not that Baal is a living power? Seest thou not how much he eateth and drinketh every day? Then Daniel smiled and said, O king, be not deceived, for this is but clay within and brass without, and did not ever, and did not, let me see, never eat or drink anything. So the king was wroth and called for his priests and said unto them, If ye tell me not who this is that devoureth these expenses, ye shall die. But if ye can certify me that Baal devoureth them, then Daniel shall die, for he hath spoken blasphemy against Baal. And Daniel said unto the king, Let it be according to thy word. So here it is in Babylon, that literally the thing that the Lord said Israel was doing, as far as setting up these images and idols and worshiping them, and even setting forth the food, the oil and the flour, right? Because it said you ate the finest foods, choice flour, honey, and oil, and olive oil, and became more beautiful than ever. Okay. It goes in to say that they was actually using that to put forth before the idol. Okay, it says, Then you use my special oil and my incense to worship them. So the Lord hooked us up with things that we needed for survival. All right, we ate the best, had oil and honey and all that, but we was using this shit to worship our idol. And this is exactly what Daniel was seeing here in Bel and the Dragon. All right, chapter 1. Now I'm gonna jump down, because we read the decree of the king. If Daniel was right, he was gonna live, but if he was wrong, he was gonna die, pretty much. So let's jump down. Let me see. All right, this is verse. All right, at 16 it says, In the morning, Betimes the king arose, and Daniel with him. And the king said, Daniel, are the seals whole? And he said, Yea, O king, they be whole. And as soon as he had opened the door, the king looked upon the table and cried with a loud voice, Great art thou, O Baal, and with thee is no deceit at all. Then laughed Daniel and held the king that he should not go in, and said, Behold now the pavement, and mark well those whose footsteps these are. And the king said, I see the footsteps of men, women, and children. And then the king was angry. All right, so because Daniel had put, I believe, it was ashes on the ground. All right, because he knew that there was some way that it was the people that was eating his food. All right, so he put the ashes on the ground, and that's why they locked they locked the doors. Okay, it says, and he took the priests with their wives and children and showed him the privy doors where they came in and consumed such things as were upon the table. So not only was it the priests, but they had their wives and their children coming through these privy doors to pretty much feast. All right, now you including your children in that, um, you're fucking uh having them pass through the fire to be sacrificed onto these idols spiritually by them, you know, being given over to pretty much the worshiping of that. It used to be literally going getting thrown in the fire, okay, but by them actually partaking in this madness, they're gonna grow up uh to be brainwashed into worshiping, that idol, and keep that cycle going, man, which is gonna piss the Heavenly Father off, and constantly have Israel in a jacked up position, man, constantly going in and out of captivity. Okay, it says, therefore king, let me see, okay, therefore the king slew them and delivered Baal into Daniel's power, who destroyed him at his temple. And in the same place there was a great dragon, which they of Babylon worship. All right, so it goes on into something else. But this, in particular, dealing with Baal, the literal example of what we read here in Ezekiel 16 pertaining to, Jake using what the Lord gave them to pretty much build an idol and worship it and have the children worship and sacrifice to that idol, is literally what we just read here in Baal and the Dragon, the first chapter, the first part of the first chapter, man. So that's why all throughout the scriptures is constant reminders that we shouldn't make us any idols, because niggas got amnesia, man. A nigga forgets quick. Okay, niggas forget quick. This is let me see, Exodus 20:4 says, "Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image, or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth." Okay, thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahweh, thy power and my jealous power, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children, unto the third and fourth generations of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. All right, so that's the reason why we get judged the way we do. Every third or fourth generation, you come back to serve our judgment according to whatever your actions was in your prior life. But once again, another commandment from the Lord that we ain't supposed to be serving these idols. All right. But I just thought that was a pretty cool comparison, how literally the Lord compared us to a woman and illustrated, our whoredoms and what we was doing via transgression, and how that was compared to, a prostitute. And literally, you got niggas that was doing the same thing here in Baal and the Dragon. Literally taking what the Lord blessed Israelites with and giving it to a damn idol, man, and worshiping the idol, But this things like this is still going on, and there's gonna be, the Lord gonna judge Jake, that's given to these idols, man. That love these idols. But Lord willing, that was edifying. Till next time, shalom.